Hey, Abundant Seed family, how are you guys doing today? Listen, I am so happy. I am so grateful to be with you for another episode of the Abundant Seed. And guys, I know it has been a while, but I wish that all of you continue to remain safe in this difficult period. I hope that you guys are practicing the necessary protocols. But my heart goes out for those who are in quarantine, those who may have been affected by this really devastating virus. And so what I want us to always remember, guys, we are planted by the rivers of waters, and so there is always fruit in us in spite of what is happening. And so I want us to understand that in this difficult period, there are people who need us. And so we ought not to be selfish in the way we operate, because that is not who we are as a community. Remember, in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, the Bible says that we ought not to be deceived, because God cannot be mocked, and a man will reap whatever he sows. And so in another version it says, you cannot mock the justice of God. You would always harvest what you plant. In layman's term, in Trinidad and Tobago, we would say that you really can't mock God. We really can't mock God. We can't mama guy. We can't pretend. Whatever we sow is what we're going to reap. Now, let us be honest and realistic. If we sow corn, we don't expect to go outside and find peas growing in that soil, you know. Or if we sow peas, we don't really expect to go outside and look for corn. And so what we have to understand as well, Abundant Seed, Ecclesiastic chapter 3 verse 1, is said, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. What does that mean? Everything that happens, there's a reason for it to happen, there's a time which it will happen, and there's a place where it will happen. We are under the heaven, so on earth is when it's going to happen. So guess what? If somebody right now is going through a period where they are in quarantine, it is for a period and for a time. Guess what? And there's a purpose for them to be going through that. Now, let us just go back a bit to this sowing and reaping thing. When we want to sow, traditionally, what do? We dig some hole, we put the seeds down, and we cover the hole. Now when we dig that hole, the earth or the soil became vulnerable. That seed that we put in there is vulnerable. It is vulnerable to worms and ants and everything else. If there is too much water, like maybe say there's a flood, that seed becomes vulnerable. Think about somebody who is at home. They are home either in quarantine or isolation. One, because they either got the COVID virus. Two, they are a primary contact of someone who they may have been exposed to that got the virus. Or they may be displaying symptoms of the virus. Now, when those people are home in quarantine, because of the laws, they can't really come out, you know. They don't have to depend on other people externally, especially if they don't have that family support to help them. So we understand the situation they are placed on. In other words, they are vulnerable. But look at that seed. That seed that is sown, the farmer has an obligation, if he wants to get good produce from that seed, to take care of that seed. So he will water the seed. He may have to put certain chemicals even before he puts the seed down. He would have to take the weeds away from the seed. And it's the same situation from those people who are vulnerable. They depend on us to help them. Are we going to help them? Because this thing that they are going through is only because for a particular time, you know. And there is a purpose for them to go through, because every one of us, no matter what we do, there is a time and a purpose, as it is said in Ecclesiastes. So those people are vulnerable. But remember, every time you help somebody, you are just as that farmer who has sown that seed, you know, who is waiting for that seed to produce. If that seed is sown on fertile ground, it will produce and it will multiply. Let me give you another example. There was this guy, Isaac, in Genesis, when he was looking to move because there was famine. There was famine in the Palestine area in Gaza. I think it's Gaza. I can't remember the name exactly. Anyway, for now. But anyway, there was famine. And he was looking to move. But God said, you know what? Stay right there with Abimelech and the king and them. Stay right there. And work from there. Sow your seeds right there. You know what Isaac did? In the height of famine, Isaac sowed. So right now, these people who are home and can't move around, remember they may have to go to the pharmacy, they may have to go to the grocery. They can't do their day-to-day things. So a famine speaks of a drought. You don't have, the soil is not producing. So those people can't really produce as they want because they are home during this period. And so they will be dependent on some people to help them. And so they are going through that period of famine. And so it is our time now to sow into their life. Now, I am not saying to you to go and get yourself exposed, but you could communicate with them, you could call them, offer a word of prayer, offer a word of advice, because people could be emotionally drained. And so, especially there's not that support system in place. So a phone call could help. But more so, they may want you to drop across some fruits because they may not have been planning for this. And so those little things, some fruits, some little inner grocery that they may need. And so when we sow those seeds, remember, whatever you sow, that is what you're going to reap. As a matter of fact, remember as well, you're doing unto somebody else that you would like them to do unto you. Because remember, this is a season and a time that they are going through. You never know when it will be your season and your time, and you may need that same level of assistance. And so remember that principle. Whatever you sow, that is what you're going to reap. So please, do not sow any spirit of discord. Do not say, well, you know what? I'm not going there because I may get what they get. You're not going there to expose yourself, you know. You're going there to bring some level of help or some level of relief. And so, guys, as an abundant seed family, remember who we are. We are planted by the rivers of water. And so, guess what? When we sow in this period of famine, Isaac, when he sowed in the period of famine, the very same year, in that time, he reaped 100-fold. You never know, that one act of kindness, that one act of reaching out is a seed that you're sowing. You never know what that seed will bring, because even in the Bible, when the farmers sowed the seed, some came 30-fold, some 60-fold, some 100-fold. And so you never know what you will stand to reap by just sowing. And so, Kingdom, my abundant seed family, all I'm saying to you today, to sow a good seed and watch that seed bring forth fruit. Abundant seed family, I love you, I love you, I love you. And may God bless you, God bless you, God bless you as I chill in the background with you. God bless you. Bye-bye. Take care.